beautiful green plants that live in the oceans. Every time we see you, it makes us remember that you bring food and shelter to the sea animals. But don't forget about the colors that you bring to the ocean. There are different types of seagrass, big, small, long, short. More and more they are disappearing because of climate change and because of us humans. We stay strong today to say these words. Without you, life would not be the same. You are important for so many of us in our beautiful oceans. Therefore, we salute you and thank you, abundant seagrass. You are truly the wonders of the oceans.
Seagrasses are marine plants which grow in shallow waters close to our coast. They are home to a wide variety of marine life, providing shelter and nourishment. Their services also include improving water chemistry, sustaining healthy corals, protecting coastlines, and storing carbon. But despite the numerous critical services they render, seagrass has been long overlooked. In 2020, the Coastal Wetlands and Climate Change Project was launched to support scientific work into learning more about seagrass and start a nationwide education campaign.
So one of the main objectives of the Coastal Wetlands and Climate Change Project was to incorporate blue carbon language, specifically seagrass, in Seychelles' nationally determined contribution. This was achieved in July of 2021. And some of the other objectives under the project includes in partnership. One of them is the science component. This is being done in partnership with the University of Oxford, ICS, UNICE and Berry to have a fully validated fieldwork map of Seychelles' seagrass and also to estimate the blue carbon stocks of the seagrass meadows. And another objective of the project is to build capacity on seagrass mapping, seagrass taxonomy, and seagrass distribution. And last but certainly not least is raising awareness on the importance of seagrass habitats, and one of those is through our community outreach work.
This was kicked off with the wonders of Gaumont Roadshow at the National Museum Holiday Club, targeting the Seychelles youth. A second session was held with members of the Royal Wildlife Club of Seychelles, where participants experimented with seagrass samples and learned through presentations and activity books developed under the project. SeyCCAT's 5th anniversary exhibition in November 2020 was an opportunity to present seagrass to members of the public and dozens of school children. 200 plus people stopped by the seagrass exhibit and got the chance to learn more about its importance. One of the main attractions was the Seagrass Aquarium, created by local artist Michelle Griffiths, depicting the benefits and services provided by seagrass.
SeyCCAT asked me to make an installation for the Coastal Wetlands Climate Change Project. It's focusing on the carbon storage potential of seagrass. So when I started off on this project, I knew nothing about seagrass, and I know quite a bit now. So I started to research the seagrass and see what particular types we have in Seychelles, and I chose 3 to put in the installation. I used hand-dyed fabrics and mainly cottons, and then I have some wire and threads in there as well. So I sculpted the pieces and formed them into the shapes and put them into a tank with a piece of coral, which was handmade as well.
The Voice of Seagrass Meadows, an art and poem competition, was launched for the occasion, calling on secondary school students to express their understanding, feelings, and thoughts on seagrass meadows. 42 submissions from 5 schools were received. All artwork submitted can be viewed on the SeyCCAT website. The main aim of the awareness campaign was to inspire national ownership of our seagrass meadows, but that proved challenging since there isn't an official native creole name for seagrass. That had to change. The project, along with an emerald committee made up of scientists, linguists, and conservationists, all under the guidance of the Creole Language Academy, set out to officially integrate Creole words for Seagrass Meadows and its 5 life forms into the language. Institutionalizing seagrass in our language is the start of our nation's understanding and appreciation of this critical natural asset. A national campaign took off on social media, print, and the radio to engage the nation in taking part in the exercise. The fishing community played an integral role in this outreach process. Despite having the COVID pandemic restrict access to fishermen, the project engaged local DAs to assist. Over 50 fishermen reached out and shared their knowledge of what they knew of seagrass.
Je connais quelque chose depuis que je commence à travailler dans les Rosalie. J'appelle comment à cause de mon grand monde dit cet exercice je pense là pour bandi monde la communauté qu'on plus là et qu'on plus son qualité qu'il y en a dans les Rosalie.
In all, the campaign collected more than 140 responses, details of which were shortlisted and submitted to the Creole Language Academy for the final choice.
Première fois que nous avons ça pose les SeyCCAT pose nous les expériments dans différentes appellations. Nous sommes fait interroge, nous bonne forme, nous bonne forme, nous bonne différents mots de la langue. Et nous avons agréé un thème créole pour seagrass. Il faut bien appeler les blancs-mer à cause du populaire. Et il descend du monde qui connaît comment les blancs, mais quand même pas beaucoup de restreint. Et après, il explique son sens à cause il un lèbre qui pousse dans la mer. Donc, il dit un an, vous n'avez pas encore aussi ça, son sens. Mais après, les SeyCCAT fait son recherche sur le terrain. Il vient avec sa bonne appellation qui dit mon chute des abeilles servi. Après, une nouvelle appellation pour une variété les blancs-mer qui ont inventé basé sur nos connaissances scientifiques pour eux. Nous avons mis ça devant nous pour que si nous pouvons valider, si nous sommes d'accord avec, si nous ne sommes pas d'accord avec. Donc là, il vient l'autre quelque chose. Nous ne pouvons pas prendre en compte les gens qui informent nous. Nous ne pouvons pas prendre en compte les recherches qui SeyCCAT fait. L'information que nous gagnons avec ça, nous avons terrain, ceux qui ont gagné avec PC, ils viennent par une connaissance indigène, une connaissance locale. Donc tout ça, c'est quelque chose que nous devons prendre en compte. Là où fait un nouveau mot entrer dans la langue à cause nous quand même nous linguistes c'est nous pas like nous n'a pas l'autorité suprême de la langue il dit monde qui servent dit monde qui fait la langue évoluer nous devons respecter les valeurs humaines et respecter l'opinion humaine so même si nous connaissons pour dire linguistiquement les blancs mais il fait sens il correct mais culturellement localement pratiquement comment c'est ça que dit monde perdu so même ça pour ça nous adopter ça des thèmes côté camarade comment bonne variant so il va une variation linguistique sur des façons pour dire même quelque chose so il cater pour bonne linguiste pareillement après il cater pour tous les autres gens qui servent de toute façon.
So by having the Creole word for seagrass, it helps to promote ownership because at the beginning we had gomo, so we wanted to differentiate between seagrass and seaweed. And by having these official Creole words for seagrass, it helps to make seagrass relatable, accessible, and easily remembered. And all of this brings that sense of connection and ownership to seagrass.
Zeb Lamer, the official Seychelles Creole word for seagrass. No outreach effort is impactful without the media, which was one of the main contributors to the success of the project. Pew FM's Sylvie Achim has been a supportive media partner in the project's journey.
Educating a nation on marine plants is not an easy feat, okay? So how we made it interesting, or how I tried to, I use the people themselves who have the information. They're young, they're passionate, they're vibrant, they're driven by what they believe in. And so we had a conversation rather than a simple interview of asking questions back and forth. I also enjoy bringing their own personal experience, whatever they've been through on the surveys they're doing, on the field work they were doing, bring all these fun experiences, making the topic interesting and fun, and also breaking it down to a certain level that everybody on all spectrums of society can actually, one, relate to the subject, and two, understand what the topic is, and actually be passionate about it as well. As a Seychellois, learning about the seagrass, especially the hype that's been around this topic, learning how right now, being an island girl, that my island, my home, is contributing in the absorption of carbon dioxide. And it's a topic that is being discussed internationally by all these big countries that have all the says and the no's in environmental topics. For Seychelles now to be standing in front of these countries and speaking on behalf of us as a nation, what we are contributing to the protection of the world, to the protection of the future generation, as we say, it's absolutely mind-blowing. I mean, I'm proud, and I'm even as passionate as the people themselves out here in the country talking about these topics, pushing for these things to happen, the changes in policies. Everything is a teamwork, and I'm proud to be part of that team.
Community engagement is a requirement for any successful conservation story. Our seagrass meadows need every one of us to understand the contribution to our marine landscape, our lives, and our planet. Our understanding will no doubt lead to our appreciation and then our engagement in coexisting alongside them respectfully. Our seagrass, our Zebla mare.